Good afternoon, everyone. The Honorable Dr. Roosevelt Skerritt, Honorable Reginald Ostry, fellow members of Cabinet, His Worship the Mayor Titus Francis, Pastor Wilson, residents of Lagoon and Portsmouth, the media, persons listening via the radio and the internet. Good afternoon again. I think Honorable Ostry said a lot of the things that I had planned to say, so I'm going to skip a lot of them. But as you know, there's a lot of negativity going around in Dominica today. You listen to the radio in the morning, it's negative. You listen in the afternoon, it's negative. You go on Facebook, it's actually negative. One of the things that I have done, especially on Facebook, all the negative people, I've just blocked them. Because negativity takes you nowhere. It's only positive things that can push you forward. It's only having solutions to challenges that is going to move you forward. It's only going to be helping our neighbors and each one of us to bring them forward, to lift them up and bring them to the next level. So we have to continue to thank God every day for giving us health, giving us strength. We have to thank God for our families and our friends for being there for us. Let us make sure we surround ourselves with the right set of people. Let us surround ourselves with persons who are positive. Let us surround ourselves with individuals who are going to push us forward, who lift us up when we fall, and not laugh at us when we fall down. I always say that attitude is a little thing that makes a big, big difference. Many times we say we don't have the resources, but we are very resourceful people. And I think the people from Portsmouth are very resourceful people. And if you look around at the standards of how even your stores, I mean, I see images of your stores in Portsmouth, and the standard in Portsmouth is just way up there. So congratulations. But that being said, the Government of Dominica continues to be creative and to create the right environment for all of us to succeed in terms of business, and even in terms of our education. Because as you know, without a solid education, you can go far, but just imagine if you had a solid education and the right business sense, how much further you could actually go. So the education is very important. And as Honorable Reginald Ostry said, the government does a lot in terms of providing support for our youth and even for our adults to ensure that we have the tools, even in terms of the state college. Many persons couldn't go to the state college before. I think only 7% of persons were able to go to the state college to further their education. Today, I think 99% of persons can go. The 1% who are not going to the state college are persons who themselves have made a decision not to go. In terms of social support, there's so much support out there to help our persons to move to the next level, and we spoke about that. Small business, again, opportunity favors those who are prepared. And the Government of Dominica has a small business unit of the Ministry of Commerce, which provides grants for persons up to $15,000 to start a business. Therefore, you can be your own boss. You can decide your own salary. You can decide on your own vacation. And very importantly, small business is what allows you to create much employment. So when these opportunities are there, I ask you to take part of them and listen to them and ensure that you can move yourself forward. But as you know, my ministry is the Ministry of Tourism, and tourism is one of the major drivers of economic activity in Dominica. Tourism contributes a significant amount to our economy. In 2016, over $300 million was contributed to $300 million was contributed to the economy of the Dominica. In addition to that, tourism employs a significant amount of persons, both directly and indirectly. Directly would be the person working in the hotel, the tour guide, the vendor. So over 4,000 persons are employed directly in the tourism industry in 2016. And we expect that number to grow as we improve on our tourism product. We say there are 4 pillars when it comes to tourism. There's the awareness. And as you know, awareness is basically making persons aware that Dominica is there. And many persons have said they're not sure where Dominica is. So one of the things that we have to do is to continue to promote our country and ensure as many persons know about Dominica today. We actually bring down persons to Dominica, journalists and farm trips and all the different organizers, so that they can come and experience Dominica, and even tour operators, so that when someone out of Dominica goes to a tour operator and asks about the different countries to come to, they can actually recommend Dominica. So we have on a regular basis, we bring down these individuals to experience Dominica, so they can also write stories about Dominica, so that persons throughout the world will know about it. In addition to that, we have also worked on what we call our marketing campaign, because you can make persons aware of Dominica, but you must put out a message that will tell the person that Dominica is beautiful, Dominica is green, Dominica has whales, Dominica has turtles, but you need to come to Dominica. And we have increased the budget for marketing. In 2014, the marketing budget was only $4 million. Today, again, based on the proper management of the economy, based on the proper use of the Citizen by Investment Funds, we have $8.5 million to further market the country of Dominica. But once you've done the awareness, once you've done the marketing, the person has to get to Dominica. And as you know, sometimes it can be very challenging to get to Dominica, but we are doing a lot to speak with all the different airlines and encourage them to provide better service and come to Dominica. A couple months ago, in June 2016, the Prime Minister had to speak with Liet and say to them, you know something, we need better service from you. And since then, I must say Liet has done a much better job, and we continue to speak with them on a day-to-day basis again to ensure that persons who want to come to Dominica, you as individuals, residents, and also the visitors can come to Dominica the same day. Because if you have to overnight, you can well imagine how much more it's going to cost you to come to Dominica. So we continue to work with the different airlines to ensure that persons can come to Dominica very easily, even down to the ferry. We also work with them to ensure that they have the best possible ways of coming to Dominica. Hopefully soon we'll have 2 new airlines servicing Dominica. One of them is called TIA out of Barbados and St. Lucia, which will start sometime in October again, to ensure that more persons can come to Dominica when they want to come to, and also more affordable. So we continue to work as hard as possible. So I said awareness, the marketing, and access. The other one, which is very, very important, is the experience. When a person comes to Dominica, they must have a fantastic experience. If they don't have a fantastic experience, and it's just like business. If you go to someone's shop and they don't give you a good service, do you go back there again? No. So likewise, when someone comes to Dominica, we have to do a lot of work. And unfortunately, it's not just one person. And that's why we say tourism is everybody's business. There's so many persons involved in ensuring that the experience is a good one. You have the immigration officer, you have the port officer, you have the customs officer, you have I call them the porter, you have the taxi driver, you have the hotel receptionist, you have the room attendant. All of us have a role to play in some way or another in ensuring that the experience is a great one. And even those persons who are not directly involved in tourism also have a part to play, because if the visitor comes to Dominica and he goes to the pharmacist to get some medicine, he or she also expects good service from these people. So everybody has a part to play. Even the bus driver who is not a regular tourism service provider, they also have their part to play. And we as individuals also have our part to play in ensuring that we make our visitors feel very welcome when they come to our beautiful island of Dominica. I want to congratulate and say hats off. I don't see any one of them here, but PAYS. I'm not sure if many of you are aware of PAYS, Portsmouth Association of Yacht Services and Security. They do a fantastic job. And according to Donald Trump, they do an amazing job. Because single-handedly, these are the guys who welcome many of the yachties, if not all the yachties, into your harbor. So as opposed to chasing them like before, what they do is they provide a fantastic service where the yachties can feel welcome when they come to Dominica. And the Ministry of Tourism, being aware of that, we continue to support PAYS in the best way as we can, providing them with the vessel through the Dominica Port Authority, providing them with with the supplies to ensure that the boat is in place. We've been working with them to put in more moorings this year. We're providing them with a contract to put in another 20 moorings, tables, benches, all with a view of improving on the experience that persons have when they come to Dominica. Many of you would have seen that this year the number of yachts in Portsmouth increased by a lot. That again doesn't happen by itself. That has happened for a couple of things. One, it is the experience and the great service that the guys from Portsmouth have been giving the individuals, but it's also us working with a guy by the name of Hank and through the international media by having what we call Yachty Appreciation Week and ensuring that when those persons came down, they had a fantastic time. I think it's been happening for about 2 years. The first year, you had about 20-something yachts. The second year, you had about 40-something yachts. This year, you had over 100 yachts in the harbor for a significant period of time. Yachties are also very important to the economy because they spend a fair amount of money. In terms of the cruisers who come from the cruise ships, they spend about $66, 66 US a day when they come to Dominica, whereas the yachties spend over 200 US when they come. So it means so many of us in the community are going to benefit as a result of them being in Dominica. So again, I just want to congratulate them, and the Ministry of Tourism will continue working together with them to ensure that we can further improve and increase on the number of persons coming to Dominica, again, to allow you to have your own businesses and again to allow you to have your jobs. But as we said, training is very important. In order to provide that great service, the Ministry of Tourism continues to ensure that we provide training to as many persons as possible. So all the frontline people who interact with the visitors, over the last year, we've maybe trained over 200 of them. Again, just to ensure that when persons come to Dominica, they have a fantastic experience. As you know, the government has been using the Citizen by Investment program to our advantage. And there's also the real estate program of the Citizen by Investment program, which allows us to have developers create what we call branded hotels. And all of these hotels must be a 4-star to a 5-star range. But again, all of this is done from a very strategic standpoint. One, by having a branded hotel, it means these hotels have branches all throughout the world. So it means they're internationally known. So if that hotel comes to Dominica, it automatically improves on the awareness. It's the same thing I was talking about at the start in terms of Dominica. So these internationally branded hotels help to improve on the awareness of Dominica. But in addition to that, all of these hotels have to be 4 to 5 star, which means they're going to be at a high level. Again, that will improve and improve on the service standards in the industry. And if many of the hotels are now at 4 to 5 star, you can well imagine the number of persons who are going to be trained, and that will trickle down into the economy. We have the Kapensky Hotel right now, which has over 125 persons employed in the construction. And when this hotel is complete, you're looking at over 300 persons who will be employed at that hotel. I'm not sure if Portsmouth alone can provide all of those employees. But again, you're going to have the Silver Beach. That should be another 300 employees. So as you can see, there's a lot of opportunity. So those of us who are going to the State College, try and do the tourism program, again, to prepare yourself. But in addition to that, all of these hotels in Portsmouth is going to also create additional business opportunities. They're going to need flowers. They're going to need meat. They're going to need fish. They need to go with fruits. They need vegetables. They need someone to cut the lawn. They're going to need rental agencies. So there's a whole gambit of opportunities that are going to be there. But very importantly, you have to prepare yourselves for it. And those of you who are entrepreneurs, capitalize on the small business grant so that you can start your business now. Start it small and grow it until it gets to a major level. And I mean, you have many persons here in Portsmouth who started from extremely small grassroots, and look at how big they've come today. But again, none of that happens overnight. It takes time, it takes dedication, and it takes surrounding yourself with the right people to get there. So again, when these opportunities face you and are in front of you, do your best to ensure that you can move it forward. We're also working to improve on the amount of cruise visitors that we get to Dominica, and sometimes some of the vessels don't come to Dominica. So one of the things that I'm going to be asking you is, what are some of the sites that we can improve on or to put in place so that when visitors come to the Portsmouth area, they have more places to go to. So I've been told that the Milton Falls need some updating, but if there are any other places, we need to gather as a team to work and see how we can put those together, again, to ensure that persons have a much better experience when they come to Dominica. So I leave some of that to you to talk to us, and I guess that's what the town hall meetings are here for, so that you can speak to us and tell us what are your ideas, what are some of your concerns, so that we can take them and we can put them in place. And now is also the right time. We are going through our budget cycle, so again, if we have that information, we can work together. Community tourism is very important, and we continue to work with the northeast tourism communities, and so again, so that it is important that when persons come to our country, persons in the various communities can benefit from the tourism. Because if it's only just one set benefiting, obviously the persons are not going to be engaged. So we want to work with you to help you to provide better facilities and services to the visitors. We also know that we have the cabrits, and I'm sure there's a lot more work that can be done at the cabrits, again, to ensure that when persons come to the Portsmouth area, they stay here for an entire day and not just come here and leave. We want persons to stay in your area for the entire day, to spend as much money in your community. So we look forward to working to enhance the trails, some of the buildings. The Indian River has some more work to be done at it. As you know, we had the filming of Pirates of the Caribbean, and this year there'll be another movie coming out again. So obviously when persons come to Dominica, they ask those questions: where was this movie filmed? Can I go to those areas? So we have to ensure that we can improve on the facilities that we have. So I know most times when you go to the Indian River, you pass that area, and most times persons just pass by. Maybe we need to improve it so that the visitors can actually stand up there, take pictures, so that they can further promote our country of Dominica. We talked about syndicates. Some more work has to be done, and we hope that very soon we will have a vendor in that area, again, to provide security in those areas. We look forward to helping you to develop the Milton Falls. And again, yachting, we have, as I said recently, this year we'll be putting in another 20 moorings through pays. We're putting in beach benches and tables, all again with a view of ensuring that when persons come to Dominica, they have a fantastic time. We know that everybody would like to have a marina in Portsmouth, and we continue to speak with potential investors to ensure that the right person, because as you know, many people come with great ideas, but we have to ensure that whoever we engage have the means, have the experience to do this properly. So again, the Ministry of Tourism will continue working in your best interest, and I look forward to hearing from you in terms of what ideas that you have in terms of improving tourism in Portsmouth. Thank you very much.